Cody in the morning. WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It's Coffee, Country, and Cody. We are inside the Simply Superior studio here at the A-Cup House on the Opry Plaza, looking out and watching some of the leaves continue to fall. Welcome to fall, y'all. Chilly start here, but we're warming up. That's Annie Nye. That's Charlie Matos. I've got Jeff Roberts upstairs with a clean keyboard, ready to go, pushing all the buttons. I'm Kelly Sutton. Bill has the day off today.
You have to explain that, like a half hour ago, we saw Jeff doing this. You know,
yeah,
I don't know what debris he had in there.
We can see him on our monitor, and I just look up, and he's got his keyboard turning it upside down and shaking it. And I was like, well, all right, now it's clean. Or he dropped something in the midst of it. I don't do that. I don't clean my keyboard enough because it's all connected. It's on my laptop.
Right.
But I need that canned air. Nothing is more satisfying than canned air. You know, you can spray stuff. All the dirt goes away. Spray over here. You can spray it. You can use it on your phone to get all the stuff out of the charger port.
You can.
Yeah, I need some.
You have to make sure it's not the cold kind, though, because that could do more damage. Yeah, see.
That's fun, though, when you were a kid and you would spray it and the can would get really cold and you're holding on to it. You're like, oh, that's neat.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite baseball players as a kid, Bill Lee, used to take the stuff, you know, the stuff they'd spray, like if you hurt your wrist, and he would freeze like spiders and bugs in the bullpen. And then, you know, they wouldn't die. They would just unfreeze and just continue walking.
Okay. Sounds like he had a whole lot of time on his hands.
When you're the bullpen, you got a lot of time to kill in baseball. You've got about 7 or 8 innings with nothing to do until it's your time. So,
welcome in, everybody, and happy Tuesday morning. We're happy to have you along with all of our streaming partners this morning. If you're watching us on Peacock or Roku, wherever you are, thanks for being a part of the show this morning. Coming in just a few minutes, Trace Nixon is going to be joining us. Brand new EP, Hand Me Down Name. We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about all of the people that are featured on this EP because it's some of our favorite folks. Deanie Richardson, Danny Flowers, Billy Thomas, and more. So getting that backstory coming up in just a little bit. Plus, we've got entertainment headlines. It's the lawn decor that has gone viral just in time for Halloween and inspired by one of our favorite Dixie Chicks songs that you played the Chicks earlier.
I did. It's one of my Dennis Lindy is one of my favorite songwriters, and he wrote Goodbye Earl. So
somebody has decided to use that as their inspiration for Halloween.
It's a lot of visuals in that song. So
and I love it. Yep. It's so good. And Cody Johnson is getting a real-life cowboy to help him out in one of his videos. We've got details on that and so much more. Plus a red carpet event that happened last night for a movie that Charlie and I are in. No big deal.
Yeah, we started.
We kind of do start.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Well, he just walked in and sat down inside our Simply Superior studio. We're happy to have Trace Nixon with us. He's got a brand new CD. Man, this is cool because I got to tell you, CDs are hot again.
Right.
This is the thing.
I didn't know that, but, whatever Martha says goes, so I trust her. And sure enough, man, we definitely needed them.
You trust Martha. That's the right one to do. We love you, Martha. She's sitting behind the scenes over there. We see. And this is one of the things that I've noticed. So my daughter is 16. She has a car. Her car is my husband's old car. It has a CD player in it. So that's what she wants.
Little hand-me-down car. Right?
It's a hand-me-down car, like a hand-me-down name.
That's
Look at what you did.
I mean, hey.
That was so smart.
Now, the question is, are you going to do 14 different covers like Taylor and make me buy it 14 different times? Or are you just going to be happy if I buy it once?
I don't think people want to see me that many times. Okay. So I'm just going to do one.
They might. Well, Trace, it's good to have you in. Thanks for coming by.
I'm very excited to be here. It really means a lot. Thank y'all.
All right. So grew up in Virginia. We were just talking about where you grew up and where you went to college. So talk to us about Virginia and what was going on when you were growing up.
Oh, man. It was, just a small town, kind of like a lot of small town stories you hearing all the country songs. But no, I grew up in a town called Goochland, Virginia, just in between Charlottesville and Richmond, and it was a lot of country music, a lot of sports, a lot of family, a lot of hunting, fishing, all the stuff you expect from a small town, country town. But yeah, man, I wouldn't change it for the world. I love that place.
Baseball was the sport?
Baseball was the main sport. Played a lot of football growing up as well, and got to the point where I could choose in college and went baseball because I didn't want to get hit by all those big linebackers.
Smart man. Okay.
But yeah, it ended up playing a few years at Shenandoah, and it was a great time. But that was about it for me. And
what position?
So I was what they call a Nextel. You remember the old Nextel phones?
Oh yeah,
the two-way
yeah,
player,
yeah.
So I played a little bit of outfield, a little bit of infield. I pitched a little bit.
Oh, they love that.
Oh, I was mediocre at it a lot, But I was.
So growing up in Virginia, who would have been your major league team? Nationals, maybe, or Orioles? Is that the closest? Or
I grew up a Braves fan.
Okay.
Because back in the day, we had the Richmond Braves.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
And that was kind of as a kid, my first experience going to a park in Richmond and seeing some big name players pass through Richmond, like Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, all those guys. So my brother was a big Braves fan. And so I kind of, I guess, followed right along with that.
Yeah, and then they moved AAA to Gwinnett. It just wasn't quite the same.
The Gwinnett Stripers, but when you look at it, it does not look like Stripers.
No, totally different helmet,
right?
Baseball cap logo if you go with an extra P.
Yeah. Extra P is not. The first time I saw that, because my husband is from Gwinnett, so and he's a Braves fan. Yeah. But the first time I saw that, I was like, "What are they called?" And he goes, "It's the Stripers," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. I know people weren't too thrilled about the name change in Richmond too. It was went to the Flying Squirrels for a long time. So,
oh God!
Which it was,
that's as bad as Jumbo Shrimp down in Jacksonville.
It took a little bit for people to get behind, but they've done some cool things and they're building a new stadium, so I think they're getting the hype up a little bit.
All right. Now, what was your major though? Because this was not like music theory, songwriting.
When you said Shenandoah, I was like, oh, that's they have an incredible musical theater program. They have incredible theater. I mean,
very good. And there was a ton of very talented musicians on my hall for sure. And, but I went in that actually in the science route. So I was a environmental science and physics major. So I went through all that stuff and somehow sweet talked my way through passing all those classes and got a real job after school, just like
what
I
was
was
the real
supposed to.
job?
I actually worked at in construction. It was a mechanical engineering company. So I was in pre-construction doing kind of estimates and bidding and all that stuff. And give a big shout out to Mr. Frank Bolin. He was my first boss, you could say, but he's become a big mentor to me, and we're still very close. So it was a big step for me. Kind of got me going in life, you could say.
Has he come and seen a show? Has he seen you play?
Absolutely. Yeah. Frank's a huge supporter of me. I wouldn't be here without Frank. To be honest. So
at what point was the draw to music just undeniable?
Well, it was always there. It was one of those things that just growing up in a very musical family. My mom having a lot of success in the bluegrass world, and it was always there, but I guess I was just a little bit naive just growing up around it. I was just so much into it when I was a kid. There was a tour bus parked in my driveway for
talk about your mom and talk about that whole growing up like that.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much all I've known. My parents met at the Old Dominion Barn Dance back in the I think late 80s, early 90s, and it was kind of like love at first note, you could say, and
love at first
and
note.
They started playing together all through the 90s, and by the time I came along, they were pretty much into the honky tonk scene around Virginia. So I grew up in some honky tonks, you could say, and but then my mom switched to bluegrass in like the early 2000s and had a great run, in bluegrass, and ended up winning Female Vocals of the Year in 2006 here in Nashville. And
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's I've seen a lot of music and a lot of great talent, and I guess I just never really imagined I could get to that level just because I just saw it, at such an early age, and but it was probably after. It was probably like 2021, 2022, I started just playing out more and really enjoying playing live shows, and that's kind of what really hooked me. And since then, it kind of just, I haven't really pushed for it, just kind of, happened, I guess, for better, for worse, I guess.
What was the first show like? Because I can't imagine, people grow up, they're singing in church, but that first show, walking onto a stage, knowing that you're the main event, what was that like?
Well, I will say there's two shows from my childhood that really stick out.
Okay.
And the first one was my mom and her band were playing a benefit concert at my high school, Goochland High School, and I got up and I sang "You Look So Good in Love" by George Strait.
Oh.
I was probably like I think 8 or 9 at that point. And I remember that one because the big talking part in that song, So
yeah.
I had to throw the guitar across my shoulder and do a little talking to the mic, and I thought
seeing a 9-year-old do that, you're gonna fall in love immediately.
I thought I was so cool.
Ever. Yes,
please tell me there's video. Someone got video.
I'm sure there is somewhere.
Okay, all right.
But then I also another one I remember. This was 5th grade, I think. I somehow talked my mom and dad and a couple of her bandmates into dressing up like the Soggy Bottom Boys from Our Brother Warthout.
Yeah.
And we did, Amanda Concesaro at my talent show, and we had the beards and had the whole get up like they do in the movie, and I did the whole Stranger, the beard pull on Stranger like Cody does, and that was one that I'll always remember. But I'll say like my first like I guess legit show like as an adult, we started this band back in Richmond called Gone Country, heavily 90s inspired.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Allen. And, we ended up having a sold out opening weekend for our first 2 shows, and the second night was a very packed night, and I was a little bit nervous, but it was a great feeling, man. Just knowing that I get to walk out and sing the stuff I've been singing my whole life. I wasn't too nervous, but I was more excited, so it was cool.
Well, and I there's the dichotomy of if you have a packed house full of friends and family, you feel very comfortable because everybody there, but also sometimes that can be more nerve-wracking that everybody that's in the room. I've talked to people where they're like, no, I want it to be a room full of strangers. That's actually easier.
Well, it's that, and to be honest, growing up with my mom and dad who are extremely talented singers in their own right, it took me a while to even sing out in public, just because it was.
That's Nick and Michelle's boy.
That was my stand. Yeah, they were my standard, right? It was so it was like, man, I gotta make sure I have my stuff together before I
didn't think about that, but I guess the added pressure of like they expect you to be good.
Well, and my parents never put any pressure on me, but I definitely, it was just just being a kid, having insecurities and all that kind of stuff. I was just like, man, I don't want to be compared to my parents out here, but so I kind of stuck on just the guitar route for a long time and got pretty good at playing guitar, and then eventually getting through all the weird vocal changes, you get through. And as a teenager, I was like, I settled into a tone. I was like, oh, well, it's not too bad, I think. But
I think it's settled well.
Keep
it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Do you still throw in some Alan Jackson or some Saki Mountain Boys as a cover if you need an extra song or two for a set list?
I'll always throw in some Alan. That's a wheelhouse one for me. I love some Alan Jackson for sure.
That's a perfect segue because we're gonna play this one's for Alan. So give us the backstory on this song before we play it.
Yeah, this is a special one for me. It was I wrote this tune a couple years ago, and it was it ended up being my debut single release. I released independently last year in April 2024. Coincidentally, I released it on April 26th, and I know that because it was the last day of my day job. I left my day job on that day, not because I released a song or because I thought it was going to do that good or anything. It just happened to work out that way. But yeah, it was just a little tip of the hat to Mr. Alan Jackson and George Strait and all the guys and gals I grew up listening to and being influenced by, and just want to try to make sure their sound and names live on for a little bit for sure.
Oh man, I love it so much. This one is for Alan. You're hearing it this morning right here on WSM with Trace.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Welcome back into the studio, the Simply Superior studio here at the A-Cup House on the Opry Plaza. We're talking with Trace Nixon. We got the new CD, Hand Me Down Name. You hadn't even seen this until this morning.
I hadn't seen a fresh copy. I maybe got a glance of it last week when I was in town, but yeah, it
looks good.
It's not too bad. I'm happy with it.
And I gotta say, the people that are on it, those are some big names. You got Deanie Richardson and Danny Flowers, Billy Thomas.
I mean, they made it. It was a dream working with all them, and I can't say enough great things about all them. And I mean, Deanie and Danny, I got to know them a little bit more than just a session. I went over and Danny and I actually wrote a song together. When I was in town a few months ago, and yes, I love all them, man. And Billy is just, oh my goodness. I caught the Tom Jumpers when I was in town, a few months ago, and it made me want to quit playing music because they
really are insanely good.
They were so good, man. So it was it was just a dream working with all those players in the session. It definitely brought to life some songs I didn't think would sound quite like that. So it was awesome.
When you started playing, obviously you grew up around the bluegrass world. Did you understand the musicianship to the point of like, oh my God, these are some of the best musicians in the world? And that I think sometimes when you grow up in that bubble, that's what you expect. And then when you get outside of it, you go, oh wow, okay, I didn't realize the caliber until you're away from it.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually spot on for sure. And that's actually a big reason why I saw this talent, at such an early age, and I was like, man, there's no way I'm ever going to get to that level. These guys and girls are incredible. And you're right, though. I mean, that bluegrass scene is just filled with tons and tons of just phenomenal pickers and singers, and so it was a treat to grow up in that realm, and I'm happy for it now. It was frustrating for a long time because I was like, well, this sound the same as that,
yeah.
and but like you said, you just kind of hear it in your head for so long. That's what you expect, and I couldn't be happier with how things turned out on the record. I think it, definitely stood up to what I heard in my head. So I was happy.
Well, the beauty of that format too is they just love to play.
Sure.
And
yes,
they love
yeah.
collaborating.
Yep.
You go to a Bluegrass Awards weekend and go to the hotel. Everybody's playing with everybody everywhere.
Well, that's nice. I mean, at a big festival, it's not on stage that you're going to see the best performances.
Right.
It's the jams after the show.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to see all the real players come out. So it's just a real cool community. I was very blessed to have a firsthand experience. Going to all those bluegrass festivals and whatnot growing up.
Bluegrass and jazz. They just kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
I
mean, look at Tony Rice. He brought so much of that jazz influence in his playing, and that's why he's just so hard to emulate. I think impossible to emulate. So it's definitely a lot of talent in that realm for sure.
I listen to him playing sometimes, and I'm like, that's got to be two people. There's no way that's one. And then you watch it and say, well, it's one guy. All right, yeah.
One guy doing impossible stuff.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So talk to us about putting this together, this EP that's out. How did you decide what songs were going to be on this? How many did you write for it, or were they some that you already had in your back pocket and you were like, hey, all of these kind of go together?
Yeah, so I think I had all but, let's see, one song written. So I wrote Secondhand Hold in January. That was the most recent song I wrote. And it was kind of at the time we were kind of getting the EP planned out. So I sent it to Michelle and Will, and I was like, what do you think about this one? And they were like, that's got to be on it, and that ended up being our, the music video and the lead single off the EP and whatnot. And but other than that, it was just kind of like, I think I had a handful of these songs, that I felt, pretty confident in, or at least I felt it was a good depiction of my sound and, my style. And so that's what I kind of threw out to them, and they liked everything I had to offer, and then one song, which is the one we're gonna play today, "Ready for the Taking," was actually a song that my dad started back in the '90s, and so it's quite literally straight out of the '90s. I get compared to all the big '90s guys a lot, but this is a song that was actually started with all that stuff while it was happening. So it was pretty cool to take that one. I kind of revamped it and put a new tag on it, new hook and everything, and it came out pretty good. I think he was happy with it. So.
Kind of cool to see songwriters Nixon, right?
It's a special moment for me, man.
Yeah.
Like my dad, my mom was the bluegrass side, but my dad was he's always been just kind of pure country, and so I definitely got a lot of my influences from him growing up. So it was cool to have him on the credits with me.
It's a hand-me-down name.
That's
you go.
it,
That's
right?
what it is. All right, what are you going to do for us?
So we're gonna try "Ready for the Taking" here.
All right.
This one goes out to my dad, right?
Whenever you're ready.
And we say this is kind of something we say this isn't a full-fledged cheating song, but it really wants to be.
Cheating light.
It's trying hard.
Cheating light song this morning from Trace Nixon on WSM.
Oh man, here we go.
Aww.
Oh, there's a little Tony Rice there at the end.
Yeah.
That's a little homage to Church Street Blues.
I like it, man.
That was sweet. Oh, what a nice. That's a great song.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man. I
Great
appreciate
song.
that.
And the
Thank you
fact
so
that
much.
your dad started that in the 90s and then you guys got to write it together.
That was, and I've always loved the melody, and that was a big credit to him. And it was one of those songs that kind of stuck in my head my whole life, pretty much. Even though he never finished it fully back in the day, but it was always one that I just always loved the sound of. And I was really happy that we could turn it into something that was record worthy.
That was really good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. So good to see you. Trace Nixon, everybody. You can find him on socials, Trace Nixon. Also, TraceNixonOfficial.com. Full list of where you can catch up with him. The new EP is Hand Me Down Name. Go get it. Play it a lot. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank y'all so much. Really appreciate it.
Lauren Elena, she said, by the way, don't read into that. That is not about her house. Her house is happy. She's doing fine. How much hell can a house hold? But they do have a lot of dirty diapers at the house. So there's that. She's going to be a part of our takeover. Amazon Music is taking over the Grand Ole Opry. It's Country Heat at the Opry. In fact, we're turning the barn orange. Did you know that?
Oh, that's cool.
Because of Alexa. Yeah, the orange color is our country heat color, and so they're making the backdrop orange. However, Lauren Elaine is going to be there, as well as Lainey Wilson, Dan and Shay, Russell Dickerson, Carter Faith, Nolene Hoffman, Gabby Barrett. It's happening on the 21st. Get your tickets. Come out and be a part of it.
I worked a show last night with her at the Opry for the folks at Neighborly. They're doing their big convention at the Opry House. They had 3,600 people there last night from all around the country. But she was telling me before the show, and then she told the crowd as well, that it was her first Opry show without little girl.
Without Benny.
And
Benny doll.
she was home with Dad. And she goes, you never know. You think you know how they're going to be with children, but you never know until you have one. And she goes, he's so good with her.
Aww.
And he kept looking at her, you ready for Daddy Little Girl night? It was really sweet.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, so.
Well, I hope that she still brings her, though, on the 21st. We've already put that request in.
Okay.
Amber Anderson and I both were like, please bring us the baby.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'd like to hold her. Okay, let's talk about Cody Johnson. He's got a brand new video for the fall. And, Cody is a real life cowboy, but he decided he would actually hire another real life cowboy to play the cowboy in the video. And good on him. I'm glad that he did that. The video was directed by Dustin Haney. He also did Till You Can't, Human, The Painter, and Dirt Cheap. So he's going with the same director. But this time he has world champion bullfighter Cody Webster taking on the cowboy role. So you have to be named Cody if you want to be in the video, but this time it's the bullfighter. So
Bullfighter?
it says bullfighter.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's got to be. It's maybe a writer in the copy. It says bullfighter. I'll show you.
No, I believe you.
But it also brings to mind like the guy has a red cape or something.
No, it does. Yeah.
I'm guessing he's probably a bull rider, and they
Okay.
wrote it wrong. However, this is going to be out on YouTube, so you can watch the fall. Go watch the video when you want to. We're still sending all of our healing wishes over to Cody. He had to cancel the rest of his tour.
Oh, that's with the ear
he
thing.
burst his eardrum.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I did that once. I've had an eardrum that burst. It is so incredibly painful.
yeah.
So, yeah, he's out for the remainder, and I know he has to have surgery to repair the burst eardrum. That's gonna hurt. Okay, let's talk about the best Halloween decor. People are already putting out their pumpkins. We have pumpkins all around us here. It looks so nice. But there's one house. This is in Alabama. It's gone viral, and as well it should. An Alabama house has now done an homage to the Chicks' Goodbye Earl. The front yard, there's a hole with a man who's wrapped in a tarp. And then there's a sign that says Goodbye Earl. Two skeletons high-fiving each other, Marianne and Wanda, chilling on the lawn chairs by Earl's grave. Earl, he's wrapped up in a tarp, as he should be. I don't know if they have a can of Black Eyed Peas sitting there, but it is
great.
truly perfect. There's also another Halloween homage that I will show you later in the week because I couldn't get the video, but a lot of people giving their tip of the hat to Alan Jackson Chattahoochee.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you're thinking of doing some lawn decor for Halloween, if you could incorporate country music somehow in it, I mean, that just takes it to the next level, truly.
I find Halloween is one of those that you either are, 100% into it or it's not your thing. There's very little in between on Halloween. Like everybody likes Thanksgiving, everybody likes Christmas, everybody likes the 4th of July. No, who doesn't like fireworks, right? But Halloween's one of those. It's like you're either 100% in or it's like, yeah, not my thing. I fall on the latter, not my thing.
We never decorated really at our house when I was growing up. I mean, we had pumpkins and stuff, but not like now where people go all out on their porch and they have all kinds of stuff. There's a house that's down the street from me and it just looks beautiful. It's, all kinds of cool stuff.
We've got that
up.
house in our neighborhood too.
And I'm like, oh, look at that. That's cute. I have 2 dead ferns that have been out there just drying to a crisp.
There you go.
I mean, that kind of looks Halloween-y. It looks spooky.
But do you get dressed up? Do you like dressing up?
We did. We have a 16-year-old who wants to go to her own parties now. So Paul and I are kind of left to our own.
I like being home and giving the candy. Then I get to see all the costumes, but I don't have to do anything.
No one comes to our house. We live on a hill, and it is a very steep hill. So
you got lazy kids
comes
there.
To our
They don't
house.
even drive up there?
Nope.
Oh, wow. We get, on a bad year, we get 50. On a good year, we've gotten over 100.
I think the most we've ever had was 4, and they were all the kids that lived next door to us. Maybe. But last year I bought full-size candy bars. What we did is we put them in the golf cart and we decorate our golf cart and then we drive around the neighborhood and we.
Oh, you deliver candy?
Yeah, it's fun. There's one street.
I love that.
There's one street that everybody just goes completely, off the rails for it, and so we just drive up and down the street and hang out with the parents. That's kind of what we do.
All
so.
right.
Anyway, get your candy out. Get ready. Halloween is coming very, very soon. We've got more right here on Coffee, Country, and Cody.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
All right, so Ty Herndon just walked in. He said, I'm not doing too bad for an old country singer. And I said, if you're old, I'm old. So that means you're not old, friend.
We're classy.
That's what? We're classics.
Yes, we have classy and classics.
I like that.
I'm a classic. You're classic.
I love seeing you.
Love seeing you too, friends. It's just like hanging out with old friends here.
It really
man?
is.
Yeah.
So we've got so much to cover. We're going to talk about the Opry show that's coming up on Sunday that you're a part of, benefiting St. Jude. But then also we've got an EP, and then Charlie just found 30 Volume 1 that's coming in.
And we got Christmas at Harkin Hall.
Oh,
you
my
are
gosh.
a busy. 2025 is a busy year.
It's a busy year.
And a book.
Oh, wow. Oh, we've been talking about the book for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
man.
is cool.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's get started. I've known you forever. How's everything been? You been doing good?
Happy is a T-shirt I'm wearing these days, and on the backside it says I'm in love, and the rest is I'm just a dadgum country singer, pig farmer from Alabama. So life is good.
Man, congratulations. So many amazing things. So many.
It's just good to be in Nashville. It's good. Fall's coming on. It's my favorite time of year, and just so much abundance. I'm gonna get emotional on you this morning. Look at that.
Well, here's the thing, because we all know, I mean, this is a crazy town. It's a crazy business. There are highs, there are lows, there are low lows, and then you come back and
there's even the grave.
And but the best part about it is the love that you're receiving now is long overdue. And
Thank you.
I'm so thankful that you're here and that people are saying and noticing and know what an incredible artist you are and what a wonderful human being you are with such a big
My goodness
heart.
gracious, I love you too.
It's true.
I appreciate that. We recently, real quick, we just moved into a new house that we built, and there's huge, 152-inch walls and coming down the staircase.
Right.
And I had not put any of the accolades or gold records and stuff up because I'm proud of it. But then this last weekend, it was time to put all of that up, and they're going to post that today. But I just walked down those stairs, and I got very emotional.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but maybe for the first time in my life, I landed in a place where I said, I can breathe, and I'm happy and I'm proud of this, And I was sitting there on the steps. I got really emotional, and I thought, and 30 years in this business, sometimes you're just moving on to the next thing, just to take a minute, sit down and go, okay, Herndon, well done, breathe. What do you want to do? What do you want to do next? Let's just live in this house and be happy.
That's the hardest part, because there is always you have to achieve the next rung in the ladder. Once you're on the ladder,
it's never ending.
You're continuously reaching, and you're seeing people that are above you, and so there's always something more, and there's always the next. But it is hard to sit and really soak it in and appreciate it in the moment. And the fact that you can do that now is really cool.
Well, I love you for that. The funny part is I look through all these things that are going around me. I'm like, okay, Reba, thank you for teaching me to reinvent.
Amen to that. That's amazing. So very true. Okay.
Well, and the beauty is your voice is still so great. I mean, it always was, but it still is. And this new stuff sounds incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's that old Pentecostal gift. I guess it's holding on good.
Right? Well, let's talk about it. So the EP is out, Hands of a Hardworking Man.
Yeah.
Give us some detail on how this came together, where the music was, like who got involved.
Well, for 30, so that's a big number.
30 is
it's
a big number
to turn in your life. It's also a big number to have in your career that you're even still anywhere near relevant.
Right.
And I guess I've just been constantly. I've been through a lot. In the book you'll read, just the truth, all the ups and downs, but the only thing that I've really had to hold on to that was the most authentic and loving and beautiful thing about me was my faith and the music, and the music has saved my life more times than I can tell you. This little thing in this little guy has always remained very healthy, and putting this project together, I just wanted to work with some friends. So I've got a lot of friends out there, and I guess I'm influenced a few artists out there as well, and to hear all that, it's so humbling. But I wanted to do the hits, 30 years of them, with people that I love who had some stories behind the songs that actually were my songs. And so, I called Michael Ray because I knew that his father loved Hands of a Working Man.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he had a connection to it. And he said yes immediately and came in the studio, and he was brilliant. And the two artists with these lyrics, which D. Vincent Williams wrote, as Dee said, man, that was the voices of one generation and another married very well. And he said, this is an incredible version. And that modulation in that song, which I don't hear half-step modulation, so I took it out a long time ago when I do it live. But my producer said, no, you got to put it in there. Michael nailed it. So I said, thank you, Michael. If it weren't for Michael, I probably wouldn't have nailed it at all. So.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we're going to play that coming up in just a few minutes, but you also have collaborations with Ashley McBryde and Leanne Rimes and Chrissy Metz and so many others. Yeah. And then even more, I saw you did something with Kristen Chenoweth, which I know y'all are friends.
Yes, this is our our second big song together. She came in. I didn't know who I was going to put on Heart Half Empty because the great Stephanie Bentley, she just there was just an amazing version of that.
Sure.
And where I was out on the road, her husband plays guitar with us, and I said, do you remember the song Heart Half Empty? She goes, yes, I'll do it.
I love this.
Yeah, so she came in and, we were at the studio for probably less than an hour and a half because she's always so prepared. And she came in. This is interesting for singers out there. She came in with everything. Her music director had written all the notes out. So she comes in with sheet music because she reads. She knew exactly what she was going to sing. Yeah. And then Jimmy Tho, our producer, just kind of said, hey, okay, so we know the notes now, and let's, just close your eyes and sing.
Now have fun with it. Yes.
I said, she ain't going to close her eyes and sing. She looked at the notes, and she closed her eyes and sang. And she hits this big note at the end in full belt. I'm like, I knew there's a country girl in there, Miss Oklahoma.
Can't take that girl out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, man, that's it was a perfect song for her.
And, it's so good.
And Ashley McBryde I love the liberties because every artist I said, do not sing this like the notes that I sang. You're doing this with your producer. We would send it to them to work with their producers.
Oh, okay.
Be Ashley McBryde. Change the melodies, and I'll come back. And she was brilliant. Leanne sat in her living room floor and did What Mattered Most. And she called me afterwards. She goes, Herndon, that was a freaking workout.
Dang! Oh, so I love these stories.
Yeah, they're just. And we've got 8 more to go. After. I think they're trying to kill me. But next is the 15th anniversary of my Grammy-nominated album, which was a faith-based album called Journey On.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 incredible people coming in for that, which I can't tell you right now. We'll talk about that another time. But I will tell you, my mother-in-law is a brilliant songwriter, and I'm recording one of her songs. I'm going to do 3 new songs for that, and it's very uplifting. And then Volume 2, the rest of the hits, and the book. I'm going to need a lot of Botox.
Okay, that's fine. Don't you worry. I know where to send you. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry.
We're going to play the title track right now. Ty Herndon. This is Hands of a Hardworking Man, and you've got Michael Ray on there with you, and you're hearing it this morning on WSM.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
He's sitting inside our Simply Superior studio at the A-Cup House right here on the Opry Plaza. It's Ty Herndon with us. We're going to talk about the Opry show happening on Sunday, but you just brought up that this was your dressing room?
Yes, yeah. When I was at Opryland for 5 years, back in the day, and they built this house, of course, for Roy. I was here when they built the house, and it ended up being our dressing room back here in the corner for the Tennessee River Boys. That was the last. The Tennessee River Boys later became Diamond Rio. We all know that, So I left the group to go do Star Search, and then had a solo career. And then Marty Rowe took my place, and it's all in the book, girl. It's pretty cool.
But I just didn't realize the connection to the house because every once in a while we'll have somebody come in and they'll be like, "Oh, I came over here and I met Mr. Roy," or "I've stepped inside the." But very few
Roy,
have said.
Mr. A brought me on the Opry for the first time when I was 19. He just came over to see the show, and he goes, came backstage. I'd like to invite you to be on the Grand Ole Opry.
Did you about pass out?
I did. did, and I'll never forget it. My grandma came up from Alabama, and I sang Jack Green's "There Goes My Everything," and got a 5-minute standing ovation. Mr. Acuff said, "That boy's going somewhere."
Oh,
wow. Well, and now tell us about, because there's a book coming, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing the audio book, and
Yes.
there may be a few bonuses in there, right?
Well, I actually have a recording of that night,
Okay.
of that afternoon, that on a little cassette tape that my mom keeps everything, you know, and she's
love
just
that.
turned 84, and she's doing great. But I have an audio of Roy introducing me on the Opry and me singing that song, and then him bringing my grandmother up on the stage and saying it was her birthday.
Oh, wow.
So the great thing about audiobooks, you can include things like that today. Just it's extra. So I was so happy to get that.
And you did so much better than Stephen Curtis Chapman, who forgot the words to "He Stopped Loving Her Today" when Mr. Acuff brought him on the Opry for the very first time.
Oh, goodness gracious. I can only imagine the pressure,
Well,
Gosh.
because he kind of stands there and watches you too a little bit. So I mean, this is the
that's some pressure.
pretty serious stuff.
Oh
so.
my gosh.
Yeah, I miss the Opryland days. It's full. We've talked full circle a lot this morning, but when I moved to town in 1990, I grew up in Providence, right?
Yeah.
And my parents were the biggest country music fans.
Right.
So, in having them come to Nashville, we went to Opryland. I have a photo of them outside the Acuff house at Mr. Acuff's mailbox, and my mom is holding her Opry tickets.
Isn't that great?
And now that this is our studio home, man, I get goosebumps sometimes, right?
It's fantastic,
Yeah.
man. There's just so many memories out. I just walked in this building, I was like, I flooded with them, especially after, walking down the halls of my life the last 2 years. And it's just, it's just been so crazy.
So cool. And then you're going to be a part of the Opry. It's happening on Sunday, and this is all benefiting St. Jude.
Yes.
We've got a killer lineup. Kelsey's going to be there. Mitchell Tenpenny and Wilson will be a part of it. Kat Luna. We've got Riders in the Sky. Of course, you're going to be there. And you just said this is the first time you've had your own segment on the Opry in 20 years.
Yeah, it is. I guess, it's not because of anything other than we've just been busy and working and
Right.
And so when I got the word that, for this particular album celebrating 30 years, it was just full circle. It was really, I actually had a very emotional moment because, for all of us that, it doesn't matter if we go 400,000 miles down the road, getting back on that stage with that little circle of wood is the mother church, and it will always be respected and loved. And I don't care if you're Carrie Underwood, if you're, if you're just getting started, it means a lot.
It does.
And every time you walk out there, it means even more and even more. And because you become a piece of that house.
Right.
You become a piece of the history of that. So for this little 19-year-old that walked out there the first time, and I did it a bunch after that. Roy would always have me out. And then I got my record deal, and I did Opry, a bunch then. And then this time just kind of happened. And so I think I was counting it up, and with this Opry performance, it will actually be my 19th time. And every artist knows how many times they've been.
Right.
Even Mark Wills was saying, I know every time. So.
Oh, I keep track of how many I've hosted.
Yes,
I'm at
absolutely.
170, I think.
So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Jeannie
looking
taught
forward
me
to
that. Jeannie Seeley, she was writing them down. She said, write them down in your
Connie
calendar.
Smith for me.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
So Connie's always been a friend. She's always, was my dad's favorite artist. I have the albums framed in my house on the wall. So I just love Connie. And when I went through my first treatment center, I got a beautiful letter from Connie Smith, just going, we're praying for you. We love you. Can't wait to have you back on the show.
Well, if Connie's praying for you, that's going straight upstairs.
Yes, Connie and Grandma Myrtle, that's what I used to say.
She had a pipeline.
So I'm super excited to be back on the Opry.
That's going to be cool.
Well, you've been fortunate in your career to have a lot of big hits, but the first of the big hits is always a big deal. The first, because you can have a lot of number ones, but you can only have a number one for the first time one time, right? Do you remember being on the road or playing a show and you knew that what mattered most was going to be something special? Because
my memory's like my mama's. It's just like an elephant man.
Yeah.
So I was about to say, I was just happy playing honky tonks in Texas because after Star Search I couldn't get a record deal. It was one reason or another, it just wasn't happening, and so I was making a great living. 10 years of that in Texas, and I got named Texas Entertainer of the Year. Then all of a sudden Nashville's calling. Got in my truck. The great Margie Hunt came to Texas, and she said, I'm from Sony. We would like you to come down and do a live audition. And, I've been handed so many of those cards. I was like, oh, you're such a nice lady.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she did come back.
Right.
And I did drive down, and I did a live audition, just like the judge, in front of 3 people in a conference room. Wow. Except here's the problem. I was playing a fake guitar and I didn't bring my hat. So when I walked in, they were like, "Where's your hat and where's your guitar?" I said, "Well, I don't play guitar." I said, "But I just didn't bring my hat because I got hair." And, and he said, "What are you going to sing for us?" And I said, he said, "How are you going to sing for us?" I said, "Man, I grew up Pentecostal. I don't need anything but my voice." Right. So I went into Jack Green's "There Goes My Everything," and then I did "Amazing Grace," and then I left because they just didn't say much. I was like, "Okay, well, thank y'all." And I got all the way out to my truck. And Margie Hunt came out of the building and goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "To lunch."
That was fun.
"Well,
Thank you for having me.
She said, "Well, come back in. We want to offer you a record deal." And they offered me the record deal. Said, "We're going to do one song on you. And if that song's successful, we'll do the whole album." And 14 weeks later, What Mattered Most came out. I was very scared of it because there was nothing but tempo on the radio then. It was a ballad. And the song had been on hold many, many times, and nobody could do this. Oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah.
And that's preaching for me.
Yeah.
So I did the song, and it was the biggest, most added song. I think finally Luke Combs just beat that.
Right.
Most added country song at radio.
Gary Burr, right?
Gary Burr, Vince Malamud.
Wow.
Yes.
Right.
So he called me after he heard this. He goes, for Gary to get a compliment sprinkle, he goes, capital B, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, and he's heard them all.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I love that Baton Rouge is the city. I don't even know if it works as well if you pick another. Baton
doesn't.
Rouge is the
True.
perfect
No.
meter, and it fits
doesn't.
everything,
And
right?
I will tell you this: the first time that I knew, I actually would call the radio stations, request it myself under another name.
Oh,
It was
sure.
like this kind of-
Yeah.
everybody does that.
Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'd like to hear.
But I was pulling down on a Sunday morning, and it was Bob Keesley's Countdown. I was pulling down Music Road, just got off the bus. It was about 8:30 in the morning, and I was living way off of West End over there, and I didn't even realize it. He goes, "With our number one song in the country today, here's a new artist. His name's Ty Herndon. Here's What Mattered Most."
That's so cool.
I just got goosebumps
That's
right
so
there.
cool.
Yeah.
It was godly classic, and I pulled my truck over because I was bawling, and I cranked it up as loud as it would go. I stood on the hood of my pickup truck on Music Road, lip syncing my own song.
Good
right
for
there.
you. Man, that is amazing. Thank
Very
you
true.
for
So-
coming in. We're
Yeah.
going to play it right now. It's your version with Leanne Rhymes. December 11th, Ty's going to be at Harkin Hall, going to be doing Holidays and the Hits. Herndon, Holidays and the Hits. You can get your tickets right now. HarkinHall.com.
Herndon hits. I like that.
And then on
Man, a lot
Sunday,
of alliteration there.
I know, you like it? Harkin Hall, Herndon and the Hits. On Sunday, you can see him here at the Grand Ole Opry. He's going to be on stage helping us out with St. Jude. I love talking to you. Congratulations on everything.
We're friends, and I love you too. I love both you
to
guys.
see you.
So
Yeah.
make us a promise. Come back, see us when the book is out.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, lots to talk about.
Okay. All
We're
right.
Might
doing
be a
it.
2-segment show.
Oh, we go. All right.
What Matters Most, Ty Herndon and Leanne Rhymes. You're hearing it this morning on Coffee, Country, and Cody.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
We are hanging out this morning discussing lots of things, but most importantly, Thanksgiving. Here's why. We have Halloween coming up, and we were talking about Halloween and getting dressed up, or if we're going to go out trick-or-treating, do the kids come to your house, blah, blah, blah. Charlie made the blanket statement. Well, not everybody loves Halloween. You're either in or you're out.
And we
it's
kind of-
not like Thanksgiving. Everybody loves Thanksgiving.
You're right.
And Annie and I looked at each other and went, really?
All right. I retract my statement.
But you said it so
I know,
boldly.
but the
It
more
was
I
a
think
bold
about it, I
statement.
don't really like Thanksgiving. Oh, I like Thanksgiving now
Right.
that we go somewhere and it's like a trip and it's enjoyable.
Right.
I hate Thanksgiving when people come to our house. So
said it.
Yeah. So I stand corrected and I retract my statement. Now I'm still going to stand by Halloween. I don't like Halloween. I like giving away the candy. It's the only part of it I really like.
Right.
But I like seeing other people's costumes. I appreciate creativity.
You like Halloween is what I'm getting out of this.
Ah.
You like to give out
I
candy.
just
You
don't
like
like-
when people dress up. You not
I-
wanting to dress up does not mean you dislike Halloween.
Right.
But then you're like, everyone likes Thanksgiving. Everyone likes the 4th of July. You didn't even say Christmas.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go home
Okay,
now.
bye. No, you
Bye.
need to
Take
stay
my
because we
ball
need
and
you to
go
run
No,
the board.
yeah, you have to do something.
No, you're right.
This
Maybe
is a question though, and this is I'm going to go way off in the deep end here.
Okay.
So growing up, because I grew up in a predominantly Christian area, Halloween just wasn't like thought of. Like kids dressed up and went trick or treating, but it wasn't celebrated because that was seen as like something awful.
Right.
Moving to Nashville 24 years ago, I realized they have something every once in a while called the Hell House.
Oh, yeah.
I had have you heard about this,
No.
Annie?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a predominantly Southern thing, but instead of doing a haunted house, they would do a house that like all of the bad things that would happen to you if you went to hell. And it
my
was put on
God.
by churches. I have not experienced anything like this, but they're real, and some churches do this to kind of scare kids straight, I guess. I don't know.
This is why people have therapists.
No, that's crazy.
I've never seen that, but that kind of lends itself to like we understand why some people don't celebrate Halloween, but then they kind of
I love Halloween. Halloween's probably my favorite holiday.
Is it really?
I like dressing up. I think it's fun. I think just everyone dressing up is fun.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Thanksgiving, which really was where the
Yeah, I
blood
know.
started to boil.
Right.
Yes, I get it.
For the group.
Yeah.
I've been shot down on numerous occasions this morning.
My big thing is if my mom's happy, everyone's pretty much happy.
Good point.
And
No one's happy on
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
everyone's stressed out about the food. And then it's all just like we eat. We've been together all day. We eat. And then it's like now we have to drive 2 hours home. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fly home.
yeah.
To me, it's just a big letdown. Halloween
So
is a
true.
season, and Thanksgiving is a day where you just need your mom to be happy.
This is what we're going to talk about from here on out. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a big old letdown, according to Annie. It's so good. Okay, so
I
let's
feel like I need to
talk.
buy you gifts to apologize for
No,
my
it's great.
bold statements this morning.
It's great. It's great. I do want to tell everybody, if you're not into Halloween, but you do want to celebrate the season early, the Grand Ole Opry is teaming up with Hallmark, and we're doing the countdown to Christmas. So skip over both of those holidays. Let's get straight to Christmas, y'all. So the 16th annual countdown to Christmas with Hallmark is happening, and it's going to take over our Grand Ole Opry Plaza. We're making arrangements right now. I can see everybody out there working hard. It's going to be open starting at 2 o'clock. Maggie Ball, Drew Baldridge, Mickey Guyton, Tiger Lily Gold, and more. They're all going to be a part of the Opry show that we're doing. But before that, you can meet the stars of your favorite Hallmark movie, including Nikki DeLoach, who happens to be in our Christmas at the Grand Ole Opry. And Jonathan Bennett's going to be here. Lacey's going to be here.
Lacey Chabert.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible time. You can take pictures, you can meet them, shake their hands, and then get your tickets and go inside and watch the Grand Ole Opry with some of the stars who are a part of the movie. It's such a beautiful crossover.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be a beautiful day for live music on the plaza, too. We'll have food trucks, and it's just going to be fun. It's going to be fun. By
Eric
the way,
Cooper is going to be hosting that part,
Correct.
and then I am hosting the Grand Ole Opry tomorrow night.
Right. And we actually do have a show on Halloween. It's a Friday. So
Are you
we
gonna dress up?
We have a Halloween show. So I'm not scheduled to host that for some reason. Mike
Am
Terry,
I?
No, Mike Terry is scheduled to
Okay.
host
They
it. and
heard
I
you
don't
hate Halloween.
I don't know why. No, but listen. I would wear. Hey, wait a minute. I would wear my Elvis jumpsuit at the podium on Halloween night if I
We
was
know you
hosting
would.
that show,
Oh,
and I would
look.
actually be excited about it.
Dare I say that's why they didn't invite you then?
Oh.
Well, Zach Bennett just texted me and said he's making a change to the schedule, so get the jumpsuit ready, friend.
I'm
You're
ready.
going to be
I
there
got
on
the jumpsuit.
Halloween.
All right.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today. We've got another show tomorrow. Come back and join us. Thank you again to Ty Herndon, who stopped by. He's going to be at the Grand Ole Opry on Sunday as a part of our St. Jude tribute, and it's going to be amazing. Kelsey Ballerini is there, and so many others, Lauren Elena. So come on out and be a part of it.
Hey, come hang with me at the Opry tonight, too. Pam Tillis, Mandy Barnett, Henry Cho, Del McCurry, the Whites, special guest Jenna Paulette, the Warren Treaty, and Ghost Towns making their Opry debut. They are fantastic.
It's going to be so good. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow.